continued events, more upcoming events, and how to become a member. Really important right there. One thing that I want everybody to pass on to your fellow airmen, civilians, and everything, because you're missing out if you're not a member. There's a lot of great benefits to it, okay? We'll give you some more information, open discussion. And then we have great Harlow's. Everybody can see how Harlow's is going. You can do a walk around, see how we're doing, and go from there, okay? All right. So first I want to talk about the NBO system, okay? Luke, we've been privileged to, not everybody knows, to be the test base for the whole entire Air Force for a new system called NBO. Okay, this system is there to help us, particularly me as a manager, to really manage the club. One, it helps us give us different reports on labor, how sales are, what's selling, what's not, how to adjust, how to be a better manager, how to better manage your club. It's a really good system. It helps us with our menus, you know, and then what the Navy's trying, what the Air Force is trying to. Sorry about that. I'm retired Navy. I'm sorry. That was a slip. I apologize.
That's the last slip.
So what the Air Force wants to do is, you know, they want to modernize, you know, so they want to be standardized. So we have been blessed and been a privilege to be able to be that platform for the whole entire Air Force. So this system is great. Of course, we're still learning. We're working through the glitches. We're working through everything. You know, but at the end of the day, we're privileged to be there, and it's there to help us, okay? House construction. As you can see, we're almost there. We're almost at the finish line. Still got a few things that needs to come in. We need to work on the heritage, which is the next phase. The plans, we're gonna have tables. We're gonna have all the squadrons, symbol, logos on the tables. This is great. This is just the beginning, what you see right here. This is just the beginning. It's going to turn out, it's going to be beautiful. We're working on our audio and visual systems. No need to be going down to the sports bar down there. We're going to have it. We're going to have all the UFC fights, all the sports, different channels, all at once. We have 8 new TVs here. We have it all. So, like I said, this is just the beginning of what the bar is going to look like, okay? So we have basically the franchises site visit coming. For who don't know, the franchisees, the club, we're going to lose part of our club, but it's going to be great. We're going to have BurgerFi and SolidWorks moving here. 2 franchisees. It's going to come here. They're going to do a site visit in mid-December, and then after that, hopefully the contracts will be awarded, and we can get construction going and get this all going and get it in here. It would be great. So more of a timeline, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and move up because we're already talked about the bar. We're gonna move up to December to, like I said, the franchises will be here to do a site visit in December. We'll talk, and they'll go ahead and work what we got to do, get contracts. And hopefully by January, we can start getting construction going. And hopefully 120 days is the estimate to get it done. The latest, hopefully by summer, we'll be able to open up the franchisees. And then moving on, what we're trying to do here is the E-Lounge over at the Community Commons. We're in the beginning phases of working how we're going to have the E-Lounge going. And hopefully we have the war contracted by March, and hopefully by end of summer, some kind of opening, and go from there. Great for the airmen. A lot of good things for this base we have going on. Okay.
Hey, Derek.
Yes, sir.
Give me 1 second on the slide. Hey, how many of you, this is your first club advisory meeting? A few? It's okay, Bernie. All right. So, one of the things on this slide that's important to note is that this week, or actually last week, we were supposed to open everything. All right, franchise was supposed to be open. Both lounges were supposed to be open. New names on the buildings, the full shoot match. One of the things, if this is the first time you've heard this brief or the first time you've heard this conversation, you'll notice it says O Lounge and E Lounge. They're all ranks. Okay? Well, we're going to get after specific heraldry in both spaces. Okay? There won't be that old school sign for those like Chief and I are old enough to remember when you showed up to the club and there was a red sign with white letters on that said enlisted only or officer only. No, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about building out righteous spaces so that we can, in our own cores, get after what it is we need to get after, but then have spaces in the righteous merge, right, to come together and have fun together. So we owe it, that elbow of the base, right by the dorms, right by, closer to maintenance, right, the largest maintenance group in the United States Air Force. We owe a resiliency platform right there. For those of you that don't know, Subway used to be in that facility. Subway didn't pay us rent for 6 years. So Subway is now in the main floor of the DX only. That's okay. We're going to work on food delivery systems and food delivery models on base. But that entire space is going to be reinvented and reimagined much in the same way that you see this being done. Some of the initial designs are pretty awesome. If you're not familiar, the Air Force has started like an e-gaming sport. I mean, we have our eyes on hosting some of those types of events, right? It is going to be awesome. You're going to have the traditional bar scene, but you're also going to be able to transition. A few walls will be gone, or 1 or 2 walls. You're going to be able to get food over there as well. So more to come on this. The timeline is COVID delayed. So hopefully by summer next year, we'll have both the franchises open and both lounges full up. Right now, this bar is still named Harlow's, and it will for the foreseeable future, but that's going to change. We're going to rename them, and we're going to get the memorialization piece for both the Second Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force as well as Hub Zemke correct. We'll talk a little bit about that in some final comments, particularly for those, some of you in the room have heard me say this like 50 times, but particularly for those who haven't heard it before. It's important to understand the message and the vision. We have invested, and the Air Force has seen what we've done, and they have doubled down on that investment to the tune of over $1 million. So a lot of our money is going into this. In the end, we don't want it to just be a field of dreams. We want it to be a field of dreams that people show up and play on. So this is where the club advisory and the involvement comes in, and we'll talk a little bit more about the heraldry and what this is going to look like in the end here in a second. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's talk about some of our catering events. We have some of our official functions. In November, we held 19, social functions 7, and training 9, and pickup orders 11. December, these are the numbers we've had for so far for this month. Official functions, they can be anywhere from wing orientation, commander's call, different things like that. We have social functions, we have like spouses club, we have chief socials, training, we have different trainings for the squadrons that we're having here at the club. Have here, and pickup orders can consist of rather be keg orders or catering, different things that people need to, you can just pick up just regular food orders. So this is what we have so far, and this is what we have so far for December. Okay? So the club provides a lot of different things just so everybody knows. But we want everybody to reach out to the club. We're here for the community. That's what we're here for the base. Event wraps up. We had the October, we had the Fall Fest. We had night visits. We had barbecue over at Fowler Park. We had a wedding reception here. It was really great. It was somebody who had nothing really to do with base. They just wanted to come here and do a wedding reception. It turned out beautiful. It was nice. And they really loved it. On Thanksgiving, we did meals to go. We had a total of 44 meals that people ordered to go. I think it was good, especially in this era with COVID. People were able to come and pick up good meals, good comments. Everybody loved it. Then we had our Thanksgiving brunch. We had around 100 guests, plus our volunteers. Really appreciate if anybody here volunteered to help us out. It was really a success. Everybody enjoyed it. Good meal. And it was really good and successful. Continue events. Wingman Wednesdays. Always good. Come on here and get some decent and really good wings at a good price. Good socialization time. And we have trivia during that time. You can come out here, bring your team, win some prizes, gift cards, different things, okay? Then we got Friday Night Escape, something to do. You had a long week, everybody's working hard. Come on out on Friday night. Relax, socialize with each other, enjoy, get that stress off for the week. Come on out to the club, okay? And then on membership perks, like I said, there's benefits of being a club member. You can come out here every third Friday of the month. You can come out and get free snacks, prepared meals we have for you. It's just free. Can't beat free food, right? When you come home, you can bring your family, come out, relax, enjoy them perks of being a member of the club, okay?
Children's Trivia Night?
Trivia night. So right now we're doing it every Wednesday, and then what we're gonna do transition January. We're gonna do it every month. So keep the hype going all month, you guys. As far as your teams, you can think, strategize, bigger gifts. We're gonna start doing it once a month on the first Wednesday of the month, starting in January. Okay. All right, more upcoming events. December holiday parties. We had one this past weekend. Right now, of course, because of COVID, cancellations, not a lot of parties. But we are open to anybody still want to host their squadron events, holiday parties. Just let us know. We're ready to host for you. New Year's Eve. Okay, so we have early bird bingo. Something to do before the New Year's. Just come on out. We have a buffet. We're gonna have a dinner. Give you a good meal, and then you can win prizes for the bingo. Come out, socialize, and just enjoy it early. The meal will actually start at 1600, then the actual games will start at 1800. So come out, win some money, can't beat it. All right. Then more comes in. We got newlywed game. Okay. You don't have to be married, just married to do that. You got boyfriend, girlfriend. Put you to the test. See how well you know each other. Okay. I know a couple people might be put on the spot, but that's fun though. It's all fun and games. Come out, enjoy. We're gonna have prizes. We're gonna have a lot of things. It's gonna be fun. Okay. Our next club advisor will be February 24th, 10 o'clock. And the tentative, we're gonna have a wine and beer tasting. Come out, relax, out on the patio, enjoy each other, some time, and take some wine and beer. Okay? All right. Important. How to become a member. Okay, there's 2 ways to become a member. Very important. You get a lot of benefits, like I said, from it. One, you can come to the club, you can speak to Miss Katie, Miss Cindy, who's our caterer, or you can speak to myself, and we can help you become a member. Also, you can go to myairforcelife.com, and you can follow the simple steps, you become a member. These things give you discounts on our buffets, room fees. You don't have no room fees if you're a member. It counts as room fees. You can have different events going on, and you just get benefits. You get discounts. You can't beat it. Okay? Very important. Please pass it on. All right. Next information. So we have our website, lukeevents.com/club. We have our Facebook.com/club. We have our Facebook, Club 56. Find out, we keep it updated. Marketing does great, keeping Luke Events updated on the current events. Also, we have a phone number. If you want to hear my voice, just call. Okay? All right. So, like I said, I'm the manager, Derek. I have our operations manager, Katie. And we have our caterer, Cynthia Asper. Okay? All right. So, we're open for discussion. Any questions, any information, any suggestions, please. Anything anybody wants to see here at the club, help us help you. There's no such thing as a complaint. When people say, oh, I don't want to complain. To me as a manager, I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a complaint. There's only thing to help us be better, improve, and that's what the club is here for. For the airmen, for the communities, that's what we're here for. So you give us your guest vision, your suggestions, is more than welcome. Okay? So please, we'll open the floor to any discussions or anything. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Quick question. When can we expect any sort of integration for our civilian or contractor counterparts that we have here on base? Like, are they able to do any of these events? And if not, like, do you foresee any integration for them to come in and enjoy bar or enjoy any of these events?
Yes. They is more open to everybody. The club is open to anybody. Doesn't matter whether you're an airman, military, doesn't matter whether you're an airman, military, spouse, retiree, civilian contractor, is open. Anybody else?
All right. I do have a few things. Spring. Great question in the back. Sometimes the name club kind of infers a degree of exclusivity, right? Really exclusivity, right? Really the club is this. right here. United States Air Force, United States, American service, right? That's what it's here for. I think historically there were degrees of exclusivity, right, based on rank structure and others. Bottom line is this space is our space. This is our resiliency platform inside the wire, and we need to know how to exercise it like we exercise weapon systems, right? I mean, there's a lot of this about the club. One of them is, I have to pay to use the club. No, you don't. If you're okay moving chairs and tables around, all you need to do is contact Eric or send it to Katie and make sure that the room's available. And you can hold flight events and section events, squadron events. COVID obviously limits a little bit of what we can do here based on capacity. But this is our platform, right? And as many of you heard me say before, when you walk into the club at the largest fighter wing in the Air Force, we had missed out for years, arguably decades, on opportunities to bring airmen together in a righteous way, right? To build out spaces that communicated and celebrated what each of us does, right? The old Harlows only had one unit, had one thing hanging up here. It was right here. It was the Security Forces 2D metal patch. That was it. There was more Landshark, Bud Light, and PBR signs in here than there were anything that represented any one of us in here. That's a shame. This bar ought to sing what we do, right? There are two teams that have been put together. Lieutenant Colonel Ice Jelinek is a deputy here in the Mission Support Group in F-35 IP. He's putting together a team to round out the heraldry in here. There's one bomb up here right now. You're going to see a lot of aircraft parts and bombs and things that units are going to contribute and tell their story in here. Right? Standard bars, old school bars, you go in and you see stickers and patches and people would sign the walls, and there's none of that in here. There will be. There's going to be rules of engagement, right? Such that when an airman walks in here or walks in the Airman's Lounge, right, as an airman, they leave their mark. They build memories, they learn from each other, from others, right? They come back as a chief. And they're like, hey, I remember that. Right? That's what we have to build it. We have to start it somewhere, right? And so we committed an investment. We committed to put the right talent in place to help manage it and to have a voice. And you guys each have a voice. You'll show up to some of these meetings and it'll sound like we're just telling you what we did and maybe what we want to do. But really, this is about all of us finding a way to get involved, right? What events do you want to see? What entertainment do you want to see? Challenge this team. Challenge Lieutenant Colonel Johnson as the commander of the Force Support Squadron. Right? Talk to your airmen. Find out what it is that you're not getting here. Is it not open when you want it open? Right? We're talking about adding in not only the heraldry, a good sound system. People want to karaoke. I'm not a karaoke guy unless it's Snoop Dogg and it's old school, which means I can't probably sing it in here. Right? But what do you want to see? We have trivia because people ask for trivia. If it was up to me, this whole hallway right here would be an axe throwing lane right outside of it. I would love to see that. We're pursuing that. If it was up to me, both of these walls would be gone and the bar would have been pushed out. There's too much hallway in this place. The fire marshal didn't like that. Right? But it's those kinds of ideas that resulted in what we have today. The same gentleman, the same contractor who built out this bar is the same contractor who built out the Nellis bar, arguably one of the more famous bars in the United States Air Force. We want to make sure we get it right. And the only way we get it right is through your involvement and your input. Right? We held a Combat Support Cup last week, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. We held chess tournaments. We held Smash Brothers. I didn't even know what Smash Brothers was. Right? We want to build out spaces that everyone want to hang out with. And we're going to start with a great foundation. We're going to start with Gigablast Internet. Right? Anybody ever go to a hotel and they're like free Wi-Fi and you get on, you can't stream anything? You don't get credit for free Wi-Fi if you can't do anything on it. Right? We want to build out space where airmen feel welcome. We knew when we started this over a year ago that some airmen were not coming to the club because they didn't want to run into the colonel there. They didn't want to run into their... We understand that. That's why we're going to build out 2 spaces. Okay? Doesn't mean we all can't hang out in one space. Hell, I'll be here every Friday. Right? Community Commons. We owe our airmen a better spot. Community Commons, by the name alone, right? Sounds like a place I avoided like the plague in college, right? It's too stiff. It has no personality, right? What we'd like to see is a fully built out space where people drive and build traditions. You'll notice out on Wing Wednesday out here, we've got the chiefs and senior NCOs that are out here every Wednesday, have been for months now. That hadn't happened. We had kind of atrophied our culture. And I would say, and you've heard me say this maybe before, we're a generation or two generations of airmen who have no idea what this space is for. They hear stories every once in a while. They go to bases. It's quiet. I'll tell you who also shows up every once in a while, retirees. You ever just gone up and sat next to one of the retirees and just asked them their story? Now, when I ask them the story, they also tell me about all the things I need to fix on base, which is fair. But that's awesome. That's the legacy of that, right? And so I'm encouraging you. I'm encouraging you to share this opportunity. It's supposed to be a quick meeting. If I talk less, it's a really quick meeting. But what is it that you want to hear about? Some of these meetings you're going to show up and you're going to be taste testing food items that are going to show up on the menu. It will be your vote that decides what we put on there. When we do that, I don't know, it seems like we do it once a quarter now, whatever it is. You're going to decide, in many respects, what goes on tap. Right? I tell the story, the very first club advisory meeting we held, we hadn't had one in years before that. First, someone raised their hand, they go, why'd you take Shock Top off the tap? I didn't know. I don't drink beer. I didn't know. Shock Top was on the next week. The answer was wrong. The answer was, we took it off because we had a lot of other beer that we ordered that we needed to get rid of. That's the wrong answer. Right? And a lot of the things like Derek talked about, the system, nobody really cares about that system, but you will care because it will make us more efficient. It'll allow us to manage our prices different. And more importantly, anyone that's ever stood at that bar in order to drink knows that we didn't have that right. Right? Mi-Bong, who's normally behind this bar, her back was to you. I ordered a Jack and Coke. It was like 30 clicks on the machine to get a Jack and Coke. That had to be fixed. Right? So it's some of those small things, it's some of those things you don't get to see that make it a more efficient process, a more efficient business. Because it's our money. This is our money here. Right? So we need your input. We want to know what you want. Themed nights, food, entertainment, you name it. Come Up Comms, this is the venue to do that. We've talked about going out with a survey. And I know January. January is going to be a survey that goes out. And it's going to be, what do you want? Right? I'm not going to write the questions, but we have a very talented team that does that. I'm asking you, encourage your folks. If a successful DEOC survey is like, what, Chief, like 30% take on a DEOC is successful, I'd love to see, to your point, 6,000 contractor, civilian, total force airmen here. And if we get 30% on that kind of a survey, with that kind of, I mean, we can make some righteous decisions, not only that will affect us during our assignment here, but certainly future airmen. And we've been able to get after this pretty quick. I remember the first, I don't know what event we were at the other day, brought a couple chiefs in here and they were like, I thought you guys just started construction in here. The NAF is a little different than the APF in those terms. So we have the advantage, we have the leverage, and we have a plan. We just need you. So you're not going to hear me, you're not going to stand up, I'm not going to stand up here and talk about membership. Membership is great. It goes into our fund. Membership's not for everybody, and I understand that. But what I'd also like to know is what you want out of your membership. What is it that you expect? We all are members, like I'm a member at Costco. I get like 40 rolls of toilet paper for the price of 20. I know what I get from my Costco membership. Maybe we don't do a good job or a good enough job articulating and telling the story. Right? An old guy up here telling the story may not resonate with an A1C on why they need to give up whatever it is, $10 a month, $8 a month, whatever it is. We need to do a better job. And if you have questions about that, this is the team, this is the time to ask those. So I'm looking forward to that. Community Commons, that project, that heraldry product, Chief Hodgson is going to lead that. Chief Weimer is a huge supporter of this. What we're talking about is what is it that you do in your mission that you want represented in here. There's a bunch of old airplane parts out behind my building. Those are going to find their way into these. EOD is working, maintenance is working. I mean, there's going to be some cool stuff in here. And you are going to have these in That's really all I've got. I'm just super appreciative of everybody coming out. I know it's another half hour or an hour out of your busy day. We try to do it once a month, give or take. It's a great opportunity. Look for the survey, provide us feedback. If you see me around campus, chief, any of the chiefs around campus, earhole them. Let them know what it is you want, and more importantly, let them know what your airmen want. Appreciate it. So.
That's been
Yeah, I'd like to share, since I'm putting the team together for community comments, it's going to be considered the list of the comments, if you will, whether that's space or kind of that however. If you want to be part of that team, I'm here every Wednesday and every Friday. You can look me up on Global, pretty easy to find as well. HODEGIN, on here. And just put your name out there. We're going to start meeting here very soon, working with the FSS team to get it right. And once we get the designs together, we'll start to move as far as the getting your voice heard and start building those themes and so on and so forth. But the main piece is getting as many people involved in this so we can get it right the first time. So look me up. Again, I'll be here for meeting on Wednesdays and Friday social hours every week. As long as I'm here.
Okay, thanks, Steve. I do have one last comment. I mentioned the Air Force's enterprise and corporate support of what we're doing. They're very much looking at how Luke does this. Right? There's been conversations for many of our careers about the clubs going away altogether. Some bases they have. Right? This is our opportunity, maybe our last opportunity, to build out a space as we see fit, program within that space as we see fit, and build something that will be a legacy for future airmen to find resiliency. Right? We have some righteous conversations going on right now. D&I among them, maybe chief among them. Right? This is a space where those relationships can happen, where those conversations can happen, where the listening ear can be attentive. In an environment of trust, in an environment of camaraderie, amongst all the heraldry and history that came before us, right? I'm just asking you, help us build it. Because if we don't build it, and if we don't build it right, it will be gone. There is no doubt in my mind. So this is our chance.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. Feel free to walk behind the bar, look around, if I got any questions, let us know. Please join. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it.